Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for June 7th, 2019. Q's up 1.95, almost 2% there, and SPY 1.07. Q's picking up the slack here. We're seeing a little bit of market rotation, kind of a risk on type of approach as the Q's got bought today. Hasn't really gone anywhere since 11 o'clock. Really just kind of went to sleep here. The anticipation of the kind of tariffs resolution with the U.S. and Mexico, we'll get some more clarity about that on Monday. Looks like the expectation here is that it will get delayed or some resolution will happen. So there's so far just looking markets expecting to stay bullish. So the surprise would be if the tariffs do take effect. I think you may see a gap down on Monday. So that's good to be aware of, that there is that risk. Okay, so that's going to be first and foremost to kind of check into on Monday. Let's recap coming into today. We were bullish on the market, but acknowledging that if we get a sell setup on the daily here, that we would have to shift away from the bullish bias. Now, never even came close to breaking yesterday's low. That was our line in the sand. If we break yesterday's low, we'll see what the follow-through is. If it gets follow-through, next setup will be a playable bounce, right? That rally will be shortable. But instead today we got a gap up and continuation of the bullishness that we had. So there was no change in our bias. The bullishness continued, and we remain bullish going into Monday. The big caveat to all of that is the potential that there could be some news event, right, as outlined, that could occur this weekend that could create a gap down, in which case if we gap down and we get follow through, then the same thing, right? Next sell setup or the next rally will be shortable. Okay, it will depend on where we gap to. Okay, but we will be likely triggering a daily sell setup. So the daily sell setup now triggers underneath today's low. Okay, so if we gap down underneath today's low, we will not be bullish anymore on the Qs and SPY. Any other variation of that, we can expect to remain bullish. Okay. So just something interesting. We talked about this a little bit in the room today. The kind of quality of when something puts in a bottom. Notice how when this accelerated away on the hourly, it stayed down. It didn't bounce. Right, it based out, and then what did we get? We got continuation. This time when we accelerated away, and even more pronounced on the Qs here, we accelerated away, we immediately reversed. So even though we accelerated here on the hourly, we have not really peeled back. As I said, when we're in here, the more basing that we do, the more bullish that we are, because as we continue to grind and work our way through the daily, which had broken down, it's how it's going to grind through that resistance and move its way back up higher. Okay, so barring any gap down on Monday, we're going to be bullish still going into Monday. Just acknowledge that bullish initiating a bullish position will be on a pullback because we are extended. Okay. All right, looks like we still got about 7 minutes left here in the market. Let's go over today's trades. We had a quick one here on the DOMO. Unfortunately, the targets were quick and did not really follow through much. Here was the DOMO. It was a morning trade off the 2-minute. We had a gap down, and then we got a breakdown right here. Okay, I was using just this base here, right? Very, very tight stop. And basically immediate targets here. The entry was under 25.50. Stop was 76. So it immediately dropped to our first target, which I just wanted to see in R, get that in. So that way, if we get a reversal, market was staying very strong, then it's basically a free play. And that's what ended up happening. did trail out. Back half did not work. Front half did work. So I think it's a little bit of a loss there, more or less break even on the DOMO. Okay, and then didn't see too much throughout the day, especially after the morning there. As you saw on the Qs as well, that it basically went to sleep after 11 o'clock, right? Here it is, 11 o'clock, and since then, doesn't want to go anywhere. I think there were some looking like it might come in or it might make the next leg hard. Didn't go anywhere, but we did have a trade on the PRSP here in the afternoon. Had a very nice base here up at the highs. Actually got a shakeout, was basing here, got a shakeout, and then we played it over the break of the base. As it kind of retested the highs, we did take half here, and then the back half was break even. So just a small little play on the PRSP. So going after, the same things. We just, as the market kind of settled down, we didn't get much follow through here. I was looking for PRSP to continue. Nice gap here, ending the recent daily sell-off, downtrend there, and trying to break the highs. So thought that was a pretty nice gap there and a nice setup. So just took a little off there to kind of finish out the afternoon and finish out the week. Okay, so hopefully you did well today. If not, kind of took it easy. I thought there were some interesting climactics. That's one of the strategies in the room that Mark and Sammy are experts on, so I won't go over that. I'll leave that to them, but I thought those were really the star of the show today. Some of the kind of the pro gaps kind of just meandered or took a while to get going there. But as far as market bias on Monday, we still will be bullish, but on a pullback. Okay, and then just be aware that if we get a gap down underneath today's low, no longer bullish. Okay, so it'll be really interesting to see what we get on Monday. I think we are in a bit of a tough spot now, location-wise. This is 4 days up on the Qs into that previous sell setup, and the SPY even deeper into resistance. So I'm not going against this hourly grind up here, so we're remaining bullish, but on a pullback here because we are a little bit extended. And then just know that if the gap up could change the picture here. I won't be here on Monday to go over what we get, but we will address it on Tuesday. Okay, so I'll be out on Monday. And so we'll see what happens and recap it on Tuesday. All right, so hope everyone has a great weekend, and I will talk to you on Tuesday. Good night, everyone.